Hi, my name is Rachel Elsey. The speech that I will be critiquing is an excerpt from a speech given by former President John F. Kennedy on June 10, 1963. It was a commencement address about world peace given to the graduating students of American University. This speech was given not long after the Cuban Missile Crisis, so America had been on edge about going to war again. JFK comes to tell us that war is not the answer to the world issues that we have been facing and that we know of other ways to solve them. Many people have said that this is easily one of the best speeches that JFK has given because he spoke with such passion about his topic. Before this speech was given, JFK instated a plan to get the U.S. on track for world peace, and that was to have all of the countries that had been testing nuclear weapons sign a treaty that said they would no longer test them, and if they signed it, the United States would as well. This speech was given while President Kennedy was pushing for the Congress to allow us to sign this treaty. At this time, JFK had the credibility to give such an important speech because he was the president. So many young graduates and many American citizens looked to him for protection and a sense of security during the time of the Cold War. The purpose of this speech was not only to inspire the young minds of the graduates and to give them hope for a bright future, but it was also to get the idea to the American citizens and the rest of the world, the Soviet Union especially, to let them know that we did not want to go to war again, and we would use other ways to solve our problems, should they arise. His message was that we need to start making steps towards a more peaceful existence. He compares world peace to community peace in saying that we don't have to love our neighbors, we just have to have a mutual tolerance. This is a great analogy, especially because our country was scared to go to war. Therefore, we probably had a lot of feelings about the Soviet Union, some not so great. If you watch JFK give the speech, it is very clear that he is passionate about his topic. You can tell by the way he stands and how he delivers his address. He speaks strongly, and you can tell that he knows his point and what he is trying to prove. He knows that the U.S. is relying on him for answers, and he does a good job in making us feel like things are going to change. The overall tone of this speech is hopeful, patriotic, and uplifting, and it remains the same throughout. JFK is hopeful that the answers he has will change our country for the better. He also assures Americans that we will be prepared for a war, but even before that, we will do our best to stop the war from ever happening, and we will take steps to create a more peaceful world. I think that he chose a great place to give this speech because I feel like he truly gave the graduating students hope for a brighter future. Another reason this speech was so effective is that there is no argument against it. I could not imagine an American, or anyone in this world for that matter, who would not want to live in a more peaceful existence. So, Kennedy's challenge is to prove that the methods he has in mind will work, and I think that he does that very well. He tells us that our problems are created by man, and that man himself can also solve these problems, because man himself created them, which makes plenty of sense. He goes on to tell us that what we need to do in order to create peace. His solutions are not far-fetched. As stated earlier, he believed that all we needed to do was have a mutual tolerance with others, and we are on our way, which seems like a simple solution. The solution to our problem of war really allows you to feel safe because you are presented with the answers rather than just discussing the problems that we have to face. I've read a few reflections of the students who graduated that year and are looking back on the event. They ranged from calling this speech a milestone in their life to saying that this speech gave them a huge sense of relief because they felt like they no longer had to worry about going back to war. So clearly this speech made a pretty big impact on some of the students. I chose this speech because as I was listening to it, I felt it really hit home with everything that has been happening today. Peace always seemed like something very unattainable because of all the hatred in the world, but somehow President Kennedy made it seem totally achievable. I think that this speech is something that we need to keep in the back of our minds when we are deciding how to deal with the controversies in the Middle East and other places in this world today. I would like to end with a quote from the speech that I feel really gives the whole idea of the entire speech and really stands out to me, and that is, not merely peace for all Americans, but peace for all men and women. Not merely peace for our time, but peace for all times. Thank you.